JJ McCarthy, it's been a weird show. I think you've noticed. Thank you for your super chat. JJ McCarthy needs to Super Saiyan to beat UGA. You are absolutely right, Nick. We did a whole show on this with Mark Rogers, voice of college football. Not a whole show, but a decent chunk of the show where we talked blue chip ratio. There's a video, a clip up as well, and that's exactly what is going to have to happen. The only path to winning a title in the modern era, if you don't have a blue chip ratio at the level of Georgia, is elite quarterback play. That's the truth. Auburn 2010, Florida State 2013, Clemson 2016. What do all three have in common? Lower blue chip ratios than Michigan has this year and elite quarterback play. That's the path. Which means Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson, Darius Clemens, Carmelo English, they're all going to have to crush it. Also, Colston Loveland and AJ Barner. AJ Barner, in the video game playing, has been a really key receiver. I'm trying not to spoil too much because you guys need to watch them. They're really fun. But AJ makes a couple of plays that were very important. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, everybody needs to be top tier. I think I'm going to be going to either the Rutgers game or one of the earlier ones. I went to one way too late in the year last time. I went to the Illinois game and then got hit by a blizzard. So not exactly the best. By the way, folks, unrelated to Michigan, Saquon Barkley might be sitting out the entire season for the NFL. So that's just side note. That might be happening because he needs to bump his contract up. Ed Rogers, you made the playoffs with the media. I'm assuming you're talking about Cade because JJ is not a mediocre quarterback, and Cade isn't a mediocre quarterback. He's just moderate. He's a game manager. Georgia is my pick to. Well, I mean if I had a gun to my head and I had to choose Georgia or another team, it would be Georgia. They just won the last two. Quarterback play looks like it's going to be the same or improved. Carson Beck looks extremely good. Stetson Bennett was extremely good, but Carson Beck is looking extremely good. They're going to have a great defense. They're the number 2 offensive line in the country, according to Pro Football Focus. I wouldn't be surprised, Casey, if that happens. But if Michigan doesn't get it this year, Michigan is it's going to be a little bit of a rough go for a couple of years. JJ may be going to the NFL. He might not. But if he goes, then you're looking at a freshman quarterback, Jaden Davis, or you're looking at a bridge quarterback for a year. So yeah, this is the year. This kind of has to be the year. At bare minimum, can Michigan just win a postseason game so that we can shut everybody up on that front? Because Michigan is capable of winning a postseason game. Okay. Came extremely close a few times. Dalvin Cook 2016 ran up against, the national championship Alabama team. Basically, it was the national champion roster. Let's win a postseason game, and I'm hoping it's a playoff game. I would like to win the national championship, but that is a tall order. It just is. But can they do it? Yes, they can. And can Michigan do it? Yes, he can. Yes, they can. Yeah, he's on the cusp, and he didn't remember. Everybody forgets. JJ McCarthy didn't have spring last year. He was splitting reps with Cade until after game number 2. Okay? Donovan Edwards' hand was injured half the freaking year. This is a different team. And so the expectations need to be different too. Casey, I will take you up on that. Let's hang out. Let's go. I'd love to see Kinnick hang out with you, hang out with Corey Bratta. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. There's a lot of there. Yeah, I mean the Buckeyes are really coming out today. We love it. We love the traffic. The traffic is great. What's the schedule for Michigan? It's pretty light. We're going to be playing the East Carolina Pirates, and by the way, I'm going to try to find one of the East Carolina writers to come on at some point. UNLV, Bowling Green, Rutgers, Nebraska, Indiana, Purdue, Michigan State, Penn State, Ohio State, Maryland. Penn State, Ohio State, and Maryland seem to be the toughest. Oh, and Minnesota. So those games are going to be kind of tough. Minnesota seems like it could be a little bit of a tricky game. But Penn State and Ohio State seem to be the tough ones. And that's right. He was also hurt. Yeah. Let's go. Why don't we just make it a whole thing? We'll just all go to Kinnick. Let's make it happen next in 2024. Yeah. This is what they forget. Blake Corum, Michigan's best player on the entire football team, didn't play that game. Can you imagine what would have happened if Blake Corum had played? It was already 45-23. Imagine Blake Corum running up and down that field. You don't have to imagine too much because Hassan Haskins was running up and down that field the year before. Donovan Edwards was running up and down that field in Columbus in 2022. Imagine Blake Corum being added to that mix. Well, he's going to be next year because you think Harbaugh's going to be playing him a lot against East Carolina? No. Blake Corum's going to make an appearance in the first few games. That's it. He isn't. He is being saved for the big games. Do I know that for a fact? No. But based on everything I've seen, Donovan Edwards is plenty capable of being the main back against East Carolina. Ben Hall is plenty capable of being running back 2 against East Carolina. Cole Cabana, also really good. Khalil Mullings can be used as a 1 or 2 yard, just barrel it in guy. And if you need somebody, CJ Stokes can be a human being who runs for a couple yards.